Hi everyone, it's Misty here. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, if you're new here, hello, my name is Misty. I've been on this channel now for 5 years, I think, almost 5 years. I've been documenting my kind of a low carb, keto, carnivore, autoimmune disease health or journey here since 2017. And for April of 2021, I thought it would be a good idea to try going dairy free. So I have an autoimmune disease called rheumatoid arthritis, which causes a ton of inflammation in your joints and can cause issues with your organs or with other parts of your body. And my inflammation markers have been high for the last 5 or 6 months. So one thing that I get told all the time, and a lot of people say, is that dairy is very, very inflammatory, and dairy is something that I absolutely love. It's something that I've said you can take away from my cold dead hand, but I thought I would give it a go, a dairy-free April to go. And I didn't even make it 2 weeks because I felt like I wasn't feeling a difference, and maybe 2 weeks wasn't long enough, but I'm like, I already don't feel well. It's like, I don't want to fuck around with this. So anyway, but what came out of it was me searching for the perfect non-dairy coffee creamer. So I have never been a really huge coffee drinker until I started doing keto. And I have never been one who likes to eat breakfast, like ever. I never like to eat when I first wake up. So I started doing bulletproof coffee to kind of give myself some sustenance to help me be satiated until, 1 or 2 o'clock when I feel like I'm ready to eat solid food. So that's kind of where my love affair from coffee came from. I'm actually drinking a coffee right now. It does have heavy cream in it. It's very, very blonde today. So I put a lot of heavy cream in it. But so that was the struggle, was finding something to replace heavy cream in my coffee. And so I started with nut milk. And unfortunately, nut milk is just basically nuts and water. So it has a very thin consistency, and it just wasn't doing it for me. So, and the reason why I need something like that in my coffee is because I've never been able to drink it black. I think I mentioned my very first cup of coffee I was 6 or 7, maybe 8 years old. We were staying with a friend of the family who was basically, playing babysitter that day. And she had an elderly neighbor who wanted us to come over. And I remember having a cup of coffee and a fried pork chop. But the coffee was probably whiter than this because it had so much sugar and milk in it. So I've always been someone who has drank my coffee with some kind of creamer. It used to be, milk or like a Coffee Mate creamer. And then since starting keto, it was heavy cream. So I went and purchased 3 different brands of non-dairy creamer, and I'm going to share what I loved, what I didn't love, and what I recommend that you try. So this is just like the Rebel ice cream. Taste is subjective. Texture is subjective. So what I love, you may hate, and vice versa. I mean, I hate that black raspberry ice cream from Rebel. Tastes like yellow mustard and vinegar to me, and so many of you love it. So again, taste is subjective. So if you love one of these, that's cool. You eat and like what you like. I'm just sharing my thoughts and opinions because so many people ask me to do that, and I'm very opinionated. So here we go. So this all started when a friend of mine recommended Nutpods, and then Wes from Highfalutin Low Carb, he seconded that motion. And so I started and I picked up Nutpods from Amazon. They have like a 4-pack. So it came with the original, it came with the caramel flavor, it came with the French vanilla, and it came with an hazelnut. So no, I didn't like any of these. The texture, it's still the consistency of nut milk. I know a couple of people said that it was a little bit different of a texture, but to me, it's the exact same as nut milk. So, and the other issue is none of them tasted like anything. Like, this is supposed to taste like caramel. It tasted the same as the original, and the same thing with the other 2 as well. So these are definitely not something that I would purchase again. I didn't care for them. They're a little bit smaller But all of these are shelf stable until you open them, and then you can put them in the refrigerator because again, they're non-dairy, they're all plant-based. Only one of them has any kind of added sweetener. But yeah, no, these are not for me, but if you love them, that's cool. That's cool. So Nutpods are the absolute worst of the worst for me. So the next two are actually pretty good. So the first, these all came from Walmart.com, from the Walmart website. You could probably find these in store, but don't quote me. So the next one I tried is the Califia Farms. I think that's how you pronounced it. So I got the better half and then just their almond creamer. So all of these have coconut milk and almond milk. Or almonds. So if you're allergic to tree nuts, I apologize. I am not, so these are the ones I picked out. So this is, both of these are unsweetened. And then I have a small one that is the hazelnut. So this is good. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so these are coconut cream and almond milk. So basically like a can of coconut and coconut milk and then some almond milk. These are really, really good. They have the texture is fantastic. I didn't care for the taste of this one. And I don't know why. It just tasted like dirt. But this consistency, this texture is spot on to heavy cream. And I know several of you have mentioned, Misty, you really need to try, the coconut cream. I just don't want anything that tastes of coconut because it's not my favorite flavor. Like I said, this tasted like dirt, but the texture is fantastic. This is delicious. This is their hazelnut flavor. Again, it's coconut cream and almond milk, and there's no sugar, there's no carbs. There's 1.5 grams of fat for 2 tablespoons. It has monk fruit juice concentrate, but there's nothing else in here there's sunflower election. I don't know. Anyway, you guys can look up, but this is delicious. It's so good. I would advise you to get, a 1-pack, see if you can find this in your store. Once you try it and you like it, Amazon has a 6-pack for $20 I'm probably going to pick up. Again, it's shelf stable until you put it, you open it and then you put it in the refrigerator. This better half is just so good. The texture is spot on to heavy whipping cream. This one is a little bit thinner, but I feel like it also has this. No, it does. It has the exact same ingredients. So this is just the almond milk creamer with coconut. It doesn't have any sweetener in it. And I think the reason why I like this better than the other one is this has a bit of the nuttiness from the almond. I don't get any of the coconut, but I do get a bit of that nuttiness from the almond. And I really, really, really like that in my coffee. It's not a huge flavor. There's not a whole lot of flavor. You just get that hint of nuttiness. And again, this actually has the exact same consistency as this one. They have a keto creamer or whatever you call it, but that has MCT oil in it. So it's not something that I've been interested in trying. But yeah, these two from this brand are my absolute favorite. They have a couple of flavors, but they actually have sugar in them. So make sure you just keep an eye on that. Make sure it says unsweetened or no sugar added. But Califia Farms, the better half, or this almond milk creamer are delicious. But the real stars of the show are the ones from Soap Bar Coffee. What is the name of this brand? I don't remember. Oh, it's Kitu. So they were featured on Shark Tank, and they have, I believe it started with Kitu. Anyway, Super Coffee. That's kind of where they started, and you've probably seen their ads all over Facebook and Instagram, where it's just pre-made coffee in a container and you can pour it pour it over ice and drink it. So I picked up a 3-pack. So it had vanilla, hazelnut, and then their original. So I believe this has MCT oil in it as well. Maybe it doesn't. No, it does. That's positive energy. Does this have, I can't remember if this has MCT oil in it or not. Oi, so it has purified water, cream, milk, protein isolate, and no, it is. Must be right there. MCT oil, natural flavor, potassium phosphate, and gelum gum or whatever. But it basically has 3.5 grams of fat per 3 tablespoons. So I have the original, the hazelnut, and the vanilla. This tastes like gasoline. Not that I've ever tasted gasoline, but the way gasoline smells, that's what this tasted like. I mean, this is the absolute worst vanilla I've ever had in my life. It's so bad that I poured it out immediately. Like I poured out my coffee. I didn't drink any more of it. I think I took 2 drinks and I was like, no, absolutely not. So this one is a hard no from me. This one is pretty decent. Again, this has the same texture as heavy whipping cream without any kind of flavor. So there's no flavor in this one. It doesn't taste like anything. It just gives you that creaminess that heavy cream comes from. That also, it gives you the same texture and viscosity that you get from heavy cream, but in a non-dairy formula. That's what I'm trying to say. But this one, y'all. This one right here, this is so fucking good. And yes, I'm using the F word because it deserves it. It's so good. Both of these are delicious. If you like hazelnut, both of these are delicious. This one beats it out just a little bit because this actually has monk fruit in it, and so it has a little bit of sweetness to it. You do not need to sweeten your coffee with any kind of sweetener if you're using one of their sweetener, one of the ones with the sweetener in it, because this has monk fruit where the other ones does not. Yeah, this has monk fruit where the other one does not. It's sweet. It's perfectly sweet enough. You can just pour it into black coffee and go on about your day. I don't feel like you need any other sweetener other than this. In fact, the first day I used it, I'd already sweetened my coffee with a little bit of stevia, and I put this on top of it and I was like, whoa, that's too much. But this is so good. They have a website, I think you just go drinksupercoffee.com or something like that. And they have so many other flavors that I would really like to try. The problem is you have to buy them in a 3-pack. And I don't know, maybe I'll give it a go and do a giveaway if I don't like them, whatever. Again, these are shelf stable until you open it and put it in the refrigerator. This has an expiration date of March 2022, but these are so good, and I can understand why they went on Shark Tank, and they're now in production. So the battle of the non-dairy, low-carb, keto-friendly creamer is Super Coffee and Califia Farms. The Nutpods, I wouldn't even bother. I wouldn't even bother unless you don't mind a little bit thinner mouthfeel in your coffee. I just prefer the texture and the viscosity of a heavy whipping cream, and I really prefer these. These are probably something that I will incorporate in my life rather than relying solely on heavy cream. I also drink a lot of flavored coffee. Like when I make iced coffee, I use just Maxwell House because that's what I have in my pantry. But when I make hot coffee or using my Keurig, all of my coffee is flavored. And I am someone who likes to have coffee when I'm cold. So I have a decaf hazelnut that is vile and disgusting, but it's good with this in it because this one doesn't have the MCT oil. This one does. But yeah, I didn't have any reaction to the MCT oil. This is the first time I've ever had MCT oil. It's not something that I've put in my diet before then. I didn't have any, bathroom issues. I don't feel like I had any kind of jitteriness or heart palpitations. Like I didn't even notice that it had MCT oil that I had MCT oil that day. So yeah, I can definitely recommend the Califia Farms and the Super Creamer. Again, they have Super Coffee. They have Super Coffee grounds, I believe. Like you can buy the coffee grounds. I can't remember if they have K-Cups. And I want to say that they have espresso, super espresso. I honestly don't remember, but you can go to their website and check them out. So yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't share anything about blood sugar. Initially, I really wanted to. The issue is my blood sugar has been consistently elevated. I've been in the high 200s, low 300s for over a month now. And so everything bumps it up. So it wouldn't do me any good. I wouldn't be able to tell you if it affected my blood sugar or if it didn't. I know that normally monk fruit doesn't do a whole lot to me, but like I said, right now my body is just so super sensitive. Any little thing is going to bump it up. So, but yeah, so thank you so much for joining. I say yeah a lot, right? Anyway, let me know if you've tried any of these, if you like them, if you're excited to try them. Yeah, they're good. These 4 right here are good. I'm excited to try other flavors from the Califia Farms, and they have a couple of flavors from the Super Coffee that I'm interested in trying. And it looks like they do seasonal flavors, so that might be fun too. But yeah, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you. If you want to, make sure you subscribe. My infusion has been scheduled for April 28th, which is the day before my birthday. Happy birthday to me. I will be vlogging that process and probably the first 2 weeks after that. So if you're interested in seeing how that goes, I'm basically moving from an injection of RA medication to an infusion. I think it's called a biometric. I don't remember. But it's weight-based when it comes through an IV. So hopefully that will help me get the relief that I need. That way to get some of this swelling down, the inflammation down, and hopefully my blood sugar's down. That is the hope. But yeah, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.